I thought it might be interesting to talk about battery chargers here for a moment in these days when you can't go anywhere, that they won't let you go anywhere, and your vehicle may end up staying in the garage and not being driven. Every battery, regardless of whether it's a full flooded battery or an AGM or whatever kind of battery you might have. Now, we're not talking about a traction battery in a hybrid. We're talking about the starting battery. Even in a hybrid, there'll be a small battery to start the car, if I remember correctly. There's two batteries. Anyway, my oldest battery charger is this one in the middle. Schumacher is a very good name, been around for a long time, never had any trouble. And I got this one because it has the boost feature, so that if I had a vehicle where the battery was completely dead, that I'd be able to go ahead. In fact, here it says 2 amp, 30 amp, and 100, which I think 100 is the boost feature. But nowadays with technology, right? You can get a boost pack that looks like that. It's tiny, and you don't need electricity for it. You just hook it to the battery itself. So that is a booster. This is a battery charger. So your battery's completely dead, and you just need to start it to get to the shop or back home. A booster is maybe what you need. This is the Noco GB70. Which I like very much. But if you're just stuck at home, you need a charger. So I have another Noco, Schumacher, and the Optima, which I'm going to show you in a minute. The truth is, I almost never use this one. In fact, I didn't even clean it. You might be able to see how dusty it is. It's just that. So let me back up a bit. Battery chargers are usually single voltage and single amperage, even if they're electronic. This one, when you start it, I think it actually goes to 30 amp first, and then it'll go down to 2 amp once it's charged the battery. The thing is, 30 amps is kind of high. I don't really like that. And so that's another reason why I don't use it anymore. This Noco is a 3.5 amp. This one actually auto detects what it is if it's flooded, AGM, and so basically you plug it in, make sure that it's on, and then you walk away. The problem with these, and I actually had a 1 amp, a C-Tech 1 amp. But the problem is that the lower the amperage, if your battery is low, the longer it's going to take to fully charge. And what I was having trouble with is that I have an Optima, a yellow top battery. This would charge it, but not to 100%. It would charge the Optima to 100%, but I have a Bosch AGM that I could leave this on for a long time, and it would charge it, but not to 100%. So I think what was happening is that the decay rate was just strong enough that the battery charger was not able to overcome 100%. So, right? Anyway, I don't want to talk about electricity and blah blah blah, but that was the Noco was fine for my Optima, but not so much for the Bosch AGM, and it just, anyway, blah blah blah. What I really want to focus on is the Optima. The reason I like this one is, believe it or not, it is multiple amperage and multiple voltage. So this one will go from, in my opinion, way too high to way too low, 30 amp to 2 amp, right? that one never goes over 3.5 amp and may be too slow for what you want. This one will go from 12 amp to 14 amp, which is just like your car's alternator. No, I'm sorry. It's from 12 volt to 14 volt. So that one is 12 volt all the time. This one is 12 volt all the time, right? 12 volt, but this one will do 12 and up to 14 volt, and it'll do multiple amperage. So it doesn't go as high as the 30 amp, but it will go up, and I can't remember what the other amperage is. But basically what that means is that this small battery charger charges faster, not faster than this one obviously, but faster than the 3 amp and faster than the 1 amp that I had. So this one will fully charge the Optima, the yellow top, right? But it'll also fully charge the Bosch AGM that I have. So what does all that mean? My father has a Dodge Ram with the 6.7 Cummins diesel. It's a 2-battery system, right? And this little charger is the only one that he's used that will fully charge both batteries. All the other ones, kind of like my Noco over here, is it will charge but not to 100%. So I am really impressed with this Optima. And in fact, the truth is I have two, because I have another one hanging on the wall, so that I can have both of my vehicles charging and fully charged, whenever I need it. Although I would not suggest that you leave a battery charger on for months and months at a time, my father does leave this Optima hooked up for long periods of time and has not had trouble. Although I have not had trouble with the Noco, the 3.5 amp, I have seen online where some of the Nocos actually overheated and burned. But I think that's possible with almost any charger. But again, the idea is they're electronically, operated, right? So it should turn off. It shouldn't overheat. But I think the idea is that because it's 12 amp, 3.5, 12 volt, 3.5 amp all the time, especially if it's not fully charging the battery, it may be on constantly and it may overheat. Whereas this one, it charges, conditions, and then we'll go into monitor mode. So anyway, I am really happy. I actually got this first one for free on a promotion and was so impressed with it that I bought another one. So I just want to talk a little bit about battery chargers. I'm sure I talked about nothing and left viewers more confused than they were to begin with. But now that I've owned all of these, I would not suggest the big Schumacher anymore, now that they have, right, the battery boosters that are so small. Anyway, I hope this has been, I don't know, it's not humorous, but perhaps informative. Thank you.